Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. There's a storm brewing in the NFL world, and it's centered around none other than Terry McLaurin, the dynamic wide receiver whose name has been on everyone's lips for months. Sources whisper that McLaurin has officially cut ties with quarterback Jayden Daniels, a move that has sent shockwaves through the league and left fans scrambling for answers. While on the surface, it might seem like a clash of personalities or a simple on-field disagreement, insiders suggest there's far more under the surface. The rumor mill is swirling with speculation that McLaurin's dissatisfaction with the offensive direction of the team has reached a tipping point, prompting him to demand a complete overhaul. Some believe this fracture could alter trade talks and roster decisions for the entire offseason. Analysts point to subtle signals during practice sessions, noting a visible tension between the two stars, hinting at deeper philosophical differences about how the offense should operate. Social media has exploded with reaction videos, hot takes, and heated debates, with fans dissecting every glance, every gesture, and every snap from recent games, interpreting them as clues to a brewing conflict that could reshape the team's future trajectory. The NFL community is buzzing, and the question on everyone's mind is whether this split is permanent or just a temporary spat. Reports indicate that McLaurin has grown increasingly frustrated with the lack of consistency and creativity in the team's offensive schemes, particularly under the guidance of the current coaching staff. Insiders claim that McLaurin, known for his fiery competitiveness and relentless work ethic, has been vocal behind closed doors, pressing for adjustments that would better utilize his skill set and maximize scoring opportunities. Sources say he's not just asking for minor tweaks, but a complete recalibration, from play calling to quarterback chemistry, signaling an unprecedented level of assertiveness from a player of his caliber. Jayden Daniels, meanwhile, is reportedly taken aback by the sudden rupture, with sources suggesting that the young quarterback feels blindsided yet eager to prove his leadership amid growing scrutiny. The tension is compounded by off-the-field discussions among team executives, who are said to be scrambling to find a resolution that preserves locker room harmony while acknowledging McLaurin's demands. Rumors circulate that meetings behind closed doors have grown increasingly tense, with heated exchanges and strategic disagreements highlighting the widening gap between player expectations and coaching philosophies. Fans are speculating endlessly, dissecting interviews, practice footage, and even social media interactions, attempting to piece together a timeline that explains exactly how a once promising partnership deteriorated so dramatically, leaving the franchise at a crossroads and the league on high alert. Meanwhile, speculation continues to swirl about the potential ramifications for the team's offensive identity if McLaurin's demands are met. Insiders suggest that a shift in strategy could not only alter the quarterback-receiver dynamics, but also influence drafting decisions, free agent signings, and even coaching evaluations. Analysts argue that McLaurin's insistence on a new offensive direction could serve as a catalyst for broader structural changes within the organization, sparking debates about innovation versus tradition in play-calling philosophies. Rumors also hint at possible trade scenarios, with teams reportedly monitoring the situation closely, anticipating a potential shakeup that could reshape competitive balance in the conference. Social media chatter is rampant, with some fans supporting McLaurin's bold stance as a necessary move for championship contention, while others criticize the timing and potential disruption to team cohesion. Industry insiders speculate that the decision to publicly distance himself from Daniels reflects a broader trend in professional sports, where star athletes increasingly leverage their influence to push for systemic change. Meanwhile, the narrative of a fractured locker room feeds a larger conversation about leadership, accountability, and the delicate balance between individual brilliance and team unity, keeping pundits and casual observers alike glued to every emerging detail, every whispered report, and every subtle hint of reconciliation or further escalation. Sources suggest that McLaurin's frustration is rooted not only in on-field performance, but also in the broader vision for the team's offensive future. The whispers in the league point to strategic disagreements about how plays are executed, target distribution, and the balance between passing and rushing schemes. Analysts note that McLaurin's style thrives in a system that maximizes space, tempo, and unpredictability, which may have clashed with Daniels' methodical approach to quarterbacking. Behind the scenes, executives are reportedly weighing the implications of a full offensive overhaul, from coordinator responsibilities to player morale, creating a tense atmosphere where every practice, meeting, and public statement is scrutinized for hidden meaning. Fans have latched onto subtle cues during interviews, game film, and social media activity, treating every smile, frown, or cryptic comment as evidence of an underlying power struggle that could redefine the team's trajectory. Meanwhile, betting markets have reacted, with lines and odds subtly shifting as speculation grows about potential trades, free agent acquisitions, or even coaching changes. The NFL rumor ecosystem thrives on moments like this, with insiders, bloggers, and analysts amplifying every fragment of information into a larger narrative, creating a combustible environment where anticipation, fear, and hope collide. McLaurin's bold stance is seen by some as a necessary assertion of agency, by others as a gamble that could either reshape the franchise's identity or trigger a cascade of unintended consequences, making the next moves in this drama critical to watch closely. Industry chatter also points to the psychological dimension of the split, with sources indicating that McLaurin's decision is as much about personal growth and leadership as it is about football tactics. The receiver is reportedly seeking an environment that not only showcases his athletic talent, but also aligns with his vision for how a modern offense should operate, blending speed, precision, and innovation. Analysts highlight that the timing of this rupture is crucial, coinciding with key draft evaluations, free agent negotiations, and preseason preparations, adding layers of complexity to an already delicate situation. Meanwhile, Daniels is facing scrutiny not only for his on-field performance, but also for his ability to adapt to evolving demands, navigate locker room dynamics, and maintain cohesion amid external pressure. Rumors suggest that the quarterback is determined to prove himself, focusing on growth and resilience. Yet the visible tension with McLaurin casts a long shadow over these efforts. Fans are polarized, with some rallying behind McLaurin's assertiveness and others championing Daniels' potential, generating a social media battlefield that mirrors the drama unfolding within the organization. The narrative of leadership, ambition, and strategic discord fuels endless speculation, creating a perfect storm for sports media coverage, where every rumor is amplified, every analysis dissected, and every possibility debated endlessly, leaving the league, fans, and pundits alike in suspense over the next chapter of this unfolding saga. Finally, insiders hint that the implications of this rupture could extend far beyond the team itself, affecting conference rivalries, playoff projections, and even the perception of player autonomy across the league. The notion that a star receiver would publicly demand structural changes and sever ties with a quarterback challenges conventional norms and may inspire similar actions elsewhere, according to analysts. The rumor mill suggests that other franchises are closely observing the fallout, considering how to balance superstar influence with organizational integrity and long-term strategic planning. Meanwhile, fan communities are dissecting every fragment of news, generating memes, theory videos, and speculative debates, which further amplify the perception of tension and urgency surrounding the team's future. Social media algorithms feed on this engagement, driving discussion across platforms, creating a sense that every move, statement, or training camp update could signal a major development. The coaching staff reportedly faces increasing pressure to address the issues publicly and privately, balancing transparency with diplomacy, as every word and decision is scrutinized by a passionate and opinionated audience. In this volatile ecosystem, McLaurin's decisive action is more than a personal statement. It's a potential turning point in how teams, players, and fans engage with the politics and power dynamics of professional football, leaving everyone waiting with bated breath for the next bombshell revelation. The ripple effects of Terry McLaurin's dramatic split from Jayden Daniels continue to dominate conversation in NFL circles, with sources suggesting that this situation is far from resolving quietly. Rumors indicate that front office executives are in emergency strategy sessions, exploring multiple scenarios ranging from offensive restructuring to high-profile trades. Analysts speculate that McLaurin's leverage could prompt a reevaluation of not only play calling but also personnel decisions, as the franchise seeks to retain his elite talent while managing potential fallout in the locker room. Meanwhile, fans are dissecting every interview, social media post, and training camp snippet, attempting to decode hidden messages, subtle gestures, or cryptic quotes that might indicate the next move. Insiders hint at tension-filled meetings behind closed doors, where coaches, coordinators, and executives are balancing loyalty, performance metrics, and public perception, trying to navigate the fragile ecosystem between player demands and team cohesion. Trade whispers have started to gain traction, with rival teams reportedly preparing contingencies should McLaurin request relocation, and betting markets have subtly reacted, adjusting odds for playoff outcomes and fantasy projections. The story is evolving at lightning speed, creating a whirlwind of speculation where every new detail is magnified, and the narrative of fractured chemistry, strategic disagreement, and star power battles is transforming this offseason into a high-stakes drama with league-wide attention. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Sources suggest that McLaurin's dissatisfaction is not merely personal, but rooted in a fundamental disagreement over offensive philosophy, with insiders claiming he believes the current system underutilizes his strengths and limits scoring potential. Analysts point out that McLaurin thrives in an aggressive, fast-paced, and unpredictable passing game, while Daniel's style leans toward calculated progressions and conservative distribution. Rumors claim this clash has simmered for weeks, intensifying during practice sessions and preseason scrimmages, where onlookers reportedly observed subtle, yet telling, gestures of frustration and misalignment. Executives are said to be caught in a delicate balancing act, negotiating between appeasing a superstar receiver and preserving quarterback confidence, as well as overall team morale. Fans have taken to social media to voice opinions, forming factions that either celebrate McLaurin's boldness or criticize the potential disruption to team unity. Meanwhile, insiders hint that this standoff could influence contract negotiations, with McLaurin potentially leveraging his position for long-term security or performance incentives. The NFL rumor mill thrives on such conflicts, with every nuance analyzed and amplified, feeding endless speculation and debate. Ultimately, the narrative paints a picture of ambition colliding with organizational structure, a drama where every decision reverberates across the field, locker room, and media landscape, creating anticipation for a resolution that could redefine the team's identity. Meanwhile, whispers are circulating that rival teams are closely monitoring the situation, calculating their opportunities to capitalize on potential changes within the roster. Rumors suggest that franchises with strong quarterback-receiver chemistry might view McLaurin as a transformative asset, capable of elevating offensive schemes and altering playoff dynamics. Analysts argue that the mere possibility of McLaurin requesting a trade or prompting offensive restructuring places the franchise under immense pressure, forcing executives to weigh immediate gains against long-term stability. Sources claim that internal discussions have included draft strategy adjustments, free agent targets, and contingency plans for quarterback development, highlighting the interconnected consequences of McLaurin's demands. Social media engagement has surged, with fan communities generating a constant stream of theories, polls, and reaction videos, amplifying the perception of chaos and urgency. Insider chatter hints that coaches are exploring creative solutions, from changing playbooks to adjusting target priorities, in an attempt to retain harmony while satisfying McLaurin's expectations. The interplay of public scrutiny, internal strategy, and league-wide observation creates a pressure cooker environment, where every statement, practice report, and unofficial comment is magnified, and speculation about trades, coaching shifts, and offensive evolution fuels a continuous narrative that leaves fans, analysts, and insiders glued to every emerging detail in real-time anticipation of what comes next. Reports also indicate that the psychological dimension of the conflict is profound, with McLaurin's assertive stance interpreted as both a leadership move and a personal boundary-setting effort. Insiders suggest he is signaling a desire for an environment that matches his competitive intensity, creative expectations, and long-term aspirations, making this split more than a simple disagreement over play calling. Meanwhile, Daniels reportedly faces a parallel narrative of proving resilience, adaptability, and leadership under intense scrutiny, balancing on-field performance with off-field optics. Analysts note that quarterback confidence and receiver trust are inseparable in high-stakes professional football, and disruption in this balance can ripple through team chemistry, affecting games, morale, and even fan engagement. Social media analysis shows an explosive reaction, with clips, memes, and discussion threads dissecting each interaction, from sideline gestures to post-game interviews, feeding the rumor ecosystem. Industry insiders hint that coaches and coordinators are experimenting with subtle adjustments behind closed doors, attempting to integrate McLaurin's vision without compromising the team's structure or development plan. The narrative of tension, ambition, and strategic negotiation reflects a broader pattern in professional sports, where elite talent increasingly exercises influence over organizational decision-making, creating storylines that captivate audiences and redefine conventional expectations of player power within franchises. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.